Hello all and welcome back. I know it has been quite some time since you've heard from me. It has honestly been a very rough month that has included power outages, family getting sick, me getting sick. In fact, you might hear it in my voice right now just a little bit. I had to literally pick up my family and move them in with my mom for a while. We lost all the food in our fridge and deep freezer, etc. But it's okay. I'm grateful that my family and I did have some place to go, and thankful that we had the emergency funds in place to recover some of what we've lost. I know a lot of others who did not, and it's a very unfortunate and terrible situation to find yourself in. So I'm not complaining. I'm just sharing information. But I'm back now, and boy, oh boy, do I have a lot. So much to cover. So many things that I want to talk about, and I don't like to waste people's time. So let's just get right into it with one of the topics that brought me here today. It's the fact that the modern world here in America has become too expensive to live comfortably while having an average job. And to help me pile drive this topic into the fabric of this rant, let's roll some footage that I've recently come across.
I've seen so many videos talking about it, and I can't help but relate, because I'm tired of working 55-ish hours a week and not being able to afford anything. I am a month and a half behind on my rent, and my landlord keeps texting me, and it's valid because I'm a month and a half behind, but at the same time, I'm always thinking to myself, I gotta prioritize food or gas to get to and from work, and everything costs so fucking much, and it's just so fucking difficult. It's so exhausting. Always having to choose between your necessities. Oh, am I gonna pay my electric bill, or am I gonna pay my gas bill? Am I going to buy groceries enough to sustain me, or am I gonna pay my rent on time for once? And it just, you feel subhuman, and at some level I feel bad that I'm not able to. I feel like I'm a bad person because I can't pay certain things on time or in whole. Sorry. I had my whole rent in money order form, but then we meaning me and my girl, we needed to get gas, groceries, and a essential bill, phone bill, paid, and it took up a good chunk of it. It took up $275 of it, and I don't know what I'm going to tell him, because that's January rent that I had to pull from. It's just, and I'm not even thinking about February, March. Because I'm so far behind all the time, and it's so exhausting.
Don't go anywhere. I got one more for you. Check this one out too.
Yo, we got to talk about the rent crisis right now. So my fiance and I, we moved back to Washington from Colorado. We both have jobs here, but we're temporarily living in her parents' place, okay? So we would like to move out at some point, right? Now, we live in Auburn, Washington right now, which is 40 to 45 minutes south of Seattle. And even with that distance, in this area, rental units for one-bedroom apartments, a single bedroom, are going for anywhere from, the cheapest I found was $1,700, which is okay. But any decent to moderately decent place in terms of facility, if it was built in the 21st century, for instance, anything decent amenity-wise, you're looking at $2,300 for a one-bedroom fucking apartment, dude. And this is why I get infuriated. It's one thing to have to live through this kind of shit, but it's another thing to hear from people over and over again, oh, well, maybe if you just buy a house like I did. I'm literally gonna clock someone in the fucking face. You don't walk up to someone that's suffering, facing the brunt of a horrible existence that has been left for our generation and younger generations to come. You don't walk up to someone like that and just say, well, you know what I did was this. And it's something that's completely unattainable. You can't do it anymore. So why the fuck are you suggesting it? Like, I'm glad, like, nice flex. I'm glad that you were able to buy, you know, a house for Cracker Jacks, 2 coupons, and $2,000, but this is not 1950 anymore. I don't know what to tell you. Shit, fuck 1950. Even 10 years ago, the average or the median home cost in America was $160,000. It is now $400,000. And they want you to make like 3 times the income. We might scratch that. We might be able to get through to like a $2,300 place with 3 times the income. But the thing is like after taxes, we're going to be spending like 30 to 40, 45% of our income on just cost of living in a place. Literally the cost of going home to some place that has shelter and comfortability so that I can get up and work the next day. Like, we have allowed this to get so out of hand. Housing should not be this expensive. And then I look and I see, oh, a $1,500 place. That's not so bad. I look at it and it's like Section 8 low-income housing. And that's great that those are available options, don't get me wrong, but we wouldn't qualify for that. But I feel like that's not low-income housing. That's what rent should be. In fact, it should probably be even cheaper than that. There is no reason that people sharing a 1-bedroom apartment should each be paying over $1,000 for their share. And this is not just cities, it's everywhere right now.
Now, the reason I showed you 2 different videos is I wanted to give you 2 of the same perspectives from 2 entirely different sources and racial backgrounds, from people that live in 2 completely different cities, to show you that it doesn't matter what color you are or where you are in America. If you are an average median income earner, then right now you are likely struggling to stay afloat. And again, that's for people who are making the so-called average median income, which according to Google is around $40,000 to $45,000 a year. And mind you, this message came from men who are in relationships with partners that have jobs, right? Meaning there are 2 different incomes and income earners in each of their situations, and they are still barely making it through life, right? We can look up all the stats and numbers all day long, but when the message comes from the mouths of working men and women, I think it hits just a little bit harder. These are young men speaking out saying, hey, it is hard out here, just trying to earn enough money to make it from one day to the next, right? Now, they didn't mention them, but imagine you throw some kids into the mix to add on to the hardships that they're already facing. Shit starts to get a lot more real than it already is, right? Now, take it a step further. Imagine that one or both of those young men are single dads. Then those lives become exponentially more difficult to manage financially and hell, mentally, if we're being honest. But this is why you don't have room to go sign up for $300 courses on how to start investing when you can find that knowledge on the internet for free. I'm just being real. This is why I try to warn you against signing up for Discords and paywalls that ask you for your hard-earned money to give you buy and sell alert advice from people that are terrible investors and have no fucking clue or idea of what they're doing, like Jeremy Financial Education, who's just out here playing with people's money at this point. This is why I warn you of the dangers of joining MLM and Ponzi pyramid schemes, right? This is why I tell you all that you don't need to go buy a tool that tells you when to buy a stock and for what price to buy the stock at. This is why you can afford to go sign up for Dr. Polite or Him 500 or Boyce Watkins class, where they're going to charge your goofy ass anywhere from $400 to $2,000 on a course that you ain't seen made one millionaire out of, outside of the people that's selling the goddamn course. These people are fucking opportunists, disguising themselves as a means to an end of your financial troubles. Do not get it twisted. If a person is coming to you with an offer on how to get rich, the very first question you should ask yourself is, what's in it for them? Because nobody is going around turning 5-figure earners into millionaires from the bottom of their heart. It's just not happening. I'm sorry. Let me be the voice of reason for you. So when you see your favorite inspirational teacher or financial coach pop up on the screen with a new course telling you that anybody can do it, all you got to do is pay the fee and take the class. All of your internal alarm bells should be sounding the goddamn alarm. When your pastor is sending around a collection plate for a third and fourth time because he says that your $10 offering to the church was just not good enough, you should be questioning that church's true intent. And again, your alarm bells should be sounding the goddamn alarm. Don't you worry. I'm going to get to all of these different people that I've talked about eventually. One by one, I am going to systematically break down and cover each and every one of the examples that I've given you here today in the coming days and weeks, right? To give you all a clear understanding of the theft that is being carried out on minorities and people who are ignorant and financially incompetent. And I want to make it very, very clear. I am not trying to discourage anyone from investing in yourself or the pursuit of knowledge through books or financial literacy courses. I'm not. I am simply asking you to please vet and consider the source and be very selective of where and what you put your money into, because a lot of these people are simply predatory. And their businesses thrive off of selling minorities and broke people the idea of becoming rich. Right this very moment, you can go to a Dr. Boyce Watkins website and sign up for something called the Black Wealth Boot Camp. And this is a boot camp that is designed to cater to black people, depending on what city you sign up for. And the cost is $600, a $600 course, $600. And I'm not saying that you won't learn anything from this boot camp, but name me 3 people that you can factually prove with data that have been made into wealthy millionaires from it. You can't. They don't exist. I don't have a degree in anything, right? But what I am very, very good at is doing my fucking research. And I can tell you right now that it didn't take me a long time at all to find out why you should be careful of the advice you take from somebody like Dr. Boyce Watkins. But we're going to get into it in another video where I break down the predatory nature of men who use their affinity to appeal to people that are the same color as they are. But you know what? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm about finding solutions. It's not enough to point out the problem, right? What are you going to do about it? And that question brings me to the topic of the video. Man builds a passive income stream of $2,000 a month in dividends. The very meaning of passive income, okay? The very meaning of passive income. The list of truly passive income streams is very, very short. It's a short one. Owning properties in real estate, you got to pay somebody to manage those properties if you're not going to do it yourself, right? You want to own an online store or business or boutique or whatever it is, the website has to be updated and maintained. And you still need to ship out those orders or pay somebody else to do it, right? You want to work a side hustle or to bring in extra income. Cool. But it likely means you're going to be trading more time and energy for money, which is likely something that you're already doing with your normal job. You want to go into day trading. Not so fast. 90% of day traders are unprofitable and lose money. Forex trading, and I mean real Forex trading, not the goofy ass group you joined because your coworker told you they had a great business opportunity, so you went and joined a group where you pay a monthly fee to be up under somebody else. No. Real Forex trading requires an understanding of the Forex market and how it works. And you don't master something like that in 6 weeks. I'm sorry, you don't. So when I say that dividend investing is one of the truly purest forms of passive income, I mean where you earn money if you're at work, if you're on vacation, if you sleep, you lost your job, you're walking your dog at the park with your kids, on a date, out of state, it doesn't matter. You're getting paid no matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter if the market is up, down, sideways, or indifferent, I'm still going to get paid. That's passive income. And a month ago, I told you about a new dividend portfolio journey that I was starting with the public investing brokerage. And at the time in that video, my investment was only earning an average of $2 a month, right? And since then, I've been able to boost that amount up to $8 a month. The current goal is $25 a month. That's $300 a year, right? And I want to get there. I'm going to get there before the end of the year. I promise you that. But what I wanted to show you today is an example of someone who is not playing around with this passive income journey. I came across a post on Facebook that was posted in a dividend group that I'm a part of, and the message simply said, finally hit that 2K a month in dividends. And I thought to myself, holy shit. Holy shit. That's incredible. I have no clue how much this person makes in a year, but I do know that he was able to give himself a $2,000 a month raise. I don't know. I personally don't know a single person, okay, that you could walk up to and couldn't use a $24,000 annual raise per year. I don't know anybody. You have the power to give yourself a raise. Stop waiting on your job to give you that low ass 3% raise that doesn't come anywhere close to keeping up with inflation. Hell, the way I see it, most of you cannot afford to not invest in a passive income stream, right? So this person was able to build a dividend income stream of $2,000 a month. And the very first question I had was, how much did this person have to invest to get there? Right? How much capital did it take? And I didn't have to look far to find the answer. Someone was already on the same page as me, apparently, and they asked the question before I could. And the answer was $550,000. That's what he said. So it took over $500,000 to reach $2,000 a month in dividends for this guy and his strategy, whatever strategy he's employing. And I know what you're thinking, $550K is a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. Some of you are probably thinking, hey, if I had $550,000, it would solve all of my money problems. But let's think about that for a moment, okay? The average income here in America, like I said, is anywhere. The median income is anywhere between $40,000 to $45,000 annually. So if you take $40,000 a year and you multiply that by 20 years, you will end up at $800,000. That's just 20 years of working a job making the average median income. Yes, I know that doesn't include taxes and life expenses, but I just want you to put into perspective how suddenly possible a goal of $550,000 in a portfolio becomes. Will it take planning? Absolutely, yes. Will it take discipline, hard work, focus, and living below your means? Absolutely, yes. But is it at all possible? Well, I believe the answer is also yes, very much so. And maybe your goal isn't 2K a month. Maybe it's 1K a month, $500 extra dollars a month, $250 a month, $100 a month, whatever the amount. The point here is that you have the ability to achieve more financial freedom, more financial independence, and more life. All right. Now, before I go, I do want to quickly point out some of the other questions that were asked of this individual because I think it's very important to be as transparent as possible. One of the comments he got was someone talking about how if he had invested all of that money into something like PSEC, that he would be getting around $4,600 a month in dividends. And that's a massive amount of money, right? That's more than what a lot of people make in a month. But this is a prime example of what not to do. I would never recommend you place 100% of your investment in any one stock, much less a risky, unstable stock like PSEC. Okay, be clear, PSEC stands for Prospect Capital. And this is a very risky play. Do not fall for dividend traps because that's what PSEC is. I did a video covering PSEC some time ago, some months ago. It's still up on the channel. You can go check it out. And in that video, I talked about how I am an investor in PSEC, but I got in on a very, 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 very good price, right? My cost basis is very low for Prospect Capital, very low. So I've been fortunate to be on the other end to where I've been in the green all the way with Prospect Capital because I bought a bunch of shares when it dropped down to $4 a share. But what I recommend that you go out now and put all of your money, especially over $500,000 worth of your money, into Prospect Capital? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because Prospect Capital is what we call a dividend trap. A yield trap is what it's called. And a yield trap is when the yield is high, right? The dividend yield is high, which for Prospect Capital, I think it's 8.6 something. Don't quote me on that. And it used to be higher. It used to be, at the time that I first started investing in Prospect Capital, or PSEC, it was over 11%. So it has dropped since then. And then in addition to that, its principal value since the time of its conception has dropped nearly 50%. So it's lost 50% of its value since its conception, right? So the message here is, do not chase yield. You don't go chasing yield and risking your asset capital. You don't do that. Mistake. So yeah, you will be getting $4,600 a month, but at the risk and at the cost of possibly losing over half of your investment. So that $550K will become a little over $200K, right? Or $250K. So do not fall. Be very careful and be very mindful of yield traps out here. That's why I say it's important to diversify. Even if you're running a dividend portfolio, it's important to diversify your portfolio across every sector of the market so that you can make sure that when one sector is impacted, your entire portfolio isn't going to take that hit, right? You need something else to stave off the damage that is being done, which is investing in other asset classes. That's what this is all about. Mitigating your losses. That is the purpose of diversifying your income, right? Mitigating your losses. But listen, I'm going to keep this video, try to keep this video as short as possible. I have so much to talk about in the coming days and weeks. We're going to be covering a lot more of the investment frauds that are out there. There are so many of them that I've come across since I've been gone. But listen, I hope this video has been informative. I hope that you have taken something from it. I hope you realize that you are not the only one. For you people out there that are struggling, that you are not the only one. Okay, you're not the only one. Everyone out here is not making money hand over fist, living in $500,000 homes. And people are struggling. You know, that's the point of this message. People are struggling. And if you're looking for a way out, and if you're looking for a way to better your situation, it's not going to happen overnight. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it's going to take money. It's going to take capital, but you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And hopefully I can show you that with what I'm building here on this channel. Listen, I do not ask for you guys to like the video and support, just because I've always kind of hated it. I don't really like doing that. But I think I'm going to start because I think my message is important enough to reach other people, right? I think my message is important enough, and I think it's clear enough and concise enough to where other people can identify with it, and it can maybe help some more people. So do please like the video, share with as many people as you can, with someone that you may know is struggling. And we got a lot more of these things coming in the days and weeks to come. It feels good to be back. Thank you to everyone. Sincerely, thank you to everyone who has stayed glued to the channel, regardless of me being here or not. Thank you all for every moment that you spent and every minute that you spent of your time watching some of my content. I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And but listen, stay invested. Remember to invest diligently, but more importantly, remember to invest responsibly. And I will see you all in the next video. Later.
Whirlwind, my life's been a whirlwind ever since I let go of foundations. I've been watching the world end. Tell me, is there anybody coming in the name of a savior? The mind is a beautiful tool we can use when the world needs shaping. There when the pain need facing, going when these hoes need caping. Stood 10 toes, now the woes is awoke and the cage is adjacent. Contemplating doing these drugs, it's a friction of life got me chafing. The fast of the night and the trap is a life and the lights got me chasing. Run around now here alone trying to find me a way, being patient.